guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. If you remember several of my videos, and I've talked many times over the last couple of years, how the only way that we're going to get men's spaces to change, or excuse me, let me correct that a little bit. The only way we're going to be able to help men is by having people outside of men's places to change. I don't know why I screwed that up the first time. Anyway, the whole point being that, if men continue to talk about this issue, they're going to get ignored, and it's going to slip on by the mainstream media because everything we say is bad. So it's going to have to be the women that bring this up and the women that talk about it. Well, now not only are conservative women talking about it, but also the left. The left has started talking about it as well. And the reason why I want to talk about this specifically is because of an interaction I had with Shoe on Head. Shoe on Head is a woman that does various topics. I think she calls herself relatively left social or a socialist leftist, although she does have some libertarian ideas. And I tend to listen to people from right, left, center, men, women, all over the spectrum, so I can try to find a good resonance on the middle. The problem I have, though, in this particular case is that either A, the only people that seem to be listening to this information is other men, or B, when men actually try to talk to even some of these women, they're shut out of the space. And to me, it seems very problematic. Earlier today, and I'll jump right into this here. Earlier today, I made a simple post, and it was in response to this. So this is an image that Shoe on Head had shared. And if you don't know who Shoe on Head is, she has 1.7 million followers here on YouTube. I think she's got something like 500,000 on Twitter. She's got a lot of followers. And she shared this, and it was an interview where she went on Breaking Points to talk about the male loneliness epidemic with Shoe on Head. Now, I thought this was a little bit ironic. I haven't even watched the interview of it, but I thought it was a little bit ironic because, the only men that you hear getting invited out to a lot of these shows to talk, they're either invited on gotcha shows, like when Rollo Tomasi went on Dr. Phil. They're invited on gotcha shows, and then they're tried to be pushed in a corner, called out, being told they're toxic, being told they're awful. Or when they actually go out on their own and speak about it, like Jordan Peterson or maybe Tucker Carlson or maybe Andrew Tate, they're shamed and they're called misogynistic and all the other terms. And so now the only people that anybody will listen to about men's issues are women. And I find that incredibly ironic. But here's the funny part. Another big segment of the only people that will listen to women talk about the problem are the women, because if you try to talk to them about it, they shut you out. So Shoe on Head shared this image. And somebody below, and she shared it because somebody was making fun of her responses. They said it's like, like Jordan Peterson and like society, and how like it's literally like too late. That, I guess that's his impression of how Shoe on Head was doing in this interview. Well, I responded, and you'll now see you're unable to view this tweet. We'll get to that in a moment. I responded. I said, this is so effing 2023. A young woman goes on a larger talk show to talk about what men are going through. How about talking to, a man about men's issues? And I retweeted this tweet that she had posted. Well, you'll notice I can't see that tweet anymore. Why? Because she blocked me. And I said, no debate. You just block. Shoe on Head. You don't even call out or criticize. You just, I didn't even call you out or criticize you. Just the irony of asking women about men's issues instead of men. How cowardly. And this is what I think is starting to really bother me about men talking about their issues. Because again, and it's very ironic, I've said many times, we need to have women speaking about our issues. But now not only are women speaking about our issues, they're also trying to tell everybody how to fix things and what men are really struggling with and what's really going on and what men really need. And who's this coming from? The women. It's not coming from the men that are actually struggling and having the issues. And I think it's good that this information is getting out there. This is from Shoe on Head 9 days ago, and this has 1.6 million views. So almost the same number of views that she has as subscribers. I think that's great. I have no shame against her. I'm glad she's talking about these things. And she actually has a little bit of a segment here that I'm going to pull from. But the important thing to remember is she's just as bad as the people she's calling out, because she wasn't willing to have a debate or leave a response or have a conversation about this. I just pointed out it's ironic that women are being invited to say how to fix men's issues, her being one of them, and there's no men involved, and she blocked me. So what she's really saying is, yes, we women are going to talk about your issues and about what's going on with men. You're not invited. I don't want to talk to you about it. I've already made up my mind about what's going on. This is the segment, and I'm going to pause it here and there. It's only about, let me see, like maybe a minute long. And she has a very valid point here. But because she's on the left, even if she sticks up for certain people on the right, or conservatives talking about this stuff, because you notice the left doesn't deal with this, and this is kind of what she talks about, that the left doesn't talk about men's issues, or if it does, it's from a place of, well, we need to fix men. I'm going to let her play just a couple seconds here, and then I'm going to annotate on this.
Looking at all these statistics, the explosion of figures like Andrew Tate is not surprising at all.
I believe being a man is a blessing because it starts so difficult. I believe that every man is born without any value at all. I think that the world's never going to think you're important unless you make yourself important.
And
now, let me just pause it. That's a very true statement by Andrew Tate. As a woman, you're automatically protected, you're automatically revered, you're automatically valued. As a man, you are utilitarian. You know, women are a delicate, well, they used to be, I don't know so much anymore. Women used to be a delicate, valuable, beautiful, feminine, weak piece of art. They were meant to be enjoyed like you would enjoy a piece of art, to be admired, to be looked at, to be treated special, to be protected, and you value that. Men are utilitarian. Men are, a hammer, a screwdriver, a lawnmower. If it's just sitting there not doing anything, it's not appreciated like a piece of art would be. Men actually have to do something. And that's what Andrew Tate is speaking to. Is he speaking to men from a place of right or left? No. He's speaking to, and again, let me just put this in here. Some of you hate him, some of you like him. That's irrelevant. Somebody that you dislike can make a statement that is true, and someone you like can make a statement that is false and you disagree with. So Andrew Tate makes a good point. And here she goes into a little bit of what I did in a video a couple weeks ago, how men are trending more conservative. She pulls a clip from a woman from the Young Turks, and then she reads some comments. I'm going to let her get into that so you can kind of get a gist of where I'm going with this discussion.
Recently, a new study came out about how young men are moving towards the right. And every other month, we, the liberal, sockdom, leftists, whatever you want to call the space online, performs the same song and dance. What's wrong with men? Why is this happening? Why don't we have a leftist Andrew Tate? We need to push men to the left. Andrew Tate rarely, if ever, talks about politics.
And that's kind of what I was saying. It's kind of the same thing. But see, the problem with the left is if they say anything, they've demonized now men to the point that on the left, if you say anything positive about men at all, you're done. You're out. You're now, far right, whatever.
Andrew Tate talks about men, and the left only talks about men when they talk about Andrew Tate. A few months ago, during one of the monthly song and dances, some progressive people I follow made the mistake of addressing men's issues, and the even bigger mistake of pointing their finger at their own spaces for not doing enough to address said men's issues.
So what she had there, the image on the screen, this is from a Sid who's got the rose, which is probably, I don't know if that's socialist. I know it's involved with Antifa and some other things, but I think it's the socialist, one of the symbols they use, like the Antifa. They say the reason young men flock to alt-right MRA movement. See, so it's not just to the right, and it's got to be alt-right. It's got to be far-right or alt-right or something. It's always got to be something like that. Movements is because the left gives brain-dead advice to young men. We need to be more compassionate to them for our own sake. And again, I don't agree with him calling, men's spaces alt-right, but that seems to be the only place that actually says, you know what, we would actually like men and women to be more equal and all the vices and evils of the world not be blamed on men. What was the response to his posting here? She's going to read them out.
At their own spaces for not doing enough to address said men's issues.
Oh, never mind. She reads it after this part here. All right, so I don't know who this is on the Young Turks. Again, another very left organization. And I want you guys to hear this again, because the only people that are allowed to talk about men's issues and what's going on with men, at least, and not be demonized, are women. And even some conservative women, such as, I don't know if Pearl from Just Pearly Things is conservative. I wouldn't think she is based on her lifestyle and her choices. However, she's very supportive of men, and she calls women out. And again, whether you agree with Pearl or not. And there is no middle ground. The left absolutely hates her. They try to dox her. They try to do bad things to her. As a matter of fact, early on here, even on YouTube, there are several men's content creators that were kicked off of YouTube because they had brigades of feminists that would come in and flag them until their channels got removed. Just ask Undead Chronic or Turd Flinging Monkey, or I think for a while Sandman was removed. Coach Greg Adams got demonetized. Pop got demonetized. It's gone across the board. The only way I've been able to survive is by speaking more as I'm coming from like news articles and critiquing that versus my official opinion of things is X. That's the only way I've even been able to survive the space so far. Well, here's more women describing what we men need. And this is not the way this is going to get solved.
There were some statistics by healthcare company Cigna indicating that men are the loneliest generation. And addressing it doesn't mean that you turn your back on issues pertaining to women, but it does mean that we should be focused on what it is in society that is leading to this epidemic, what the left can do to offer solutions, and how we can basically fight back against the more nefarious figures who have filled the void that men are struggling with, people like Jordan Peterson and what have you. Now, recently, Vosh, who's a popular streamer, had tweeted this thread that I think is really, really important to address. He writes, "I cannot stress enough how..."
Let me just pause it here. You notice something that is very important to them. They said, how can we address this from the left? And more men are becoming conservative. Well, conservative now is everything but far left. And so even if you're a middle-of-the-road person, if you speak, I don't know, just with any sanity today, you get called far right and extreme and all the other things. And like she says, we need to find out how to help men from the left. Men's issues are not a political wedge issue. Men's issues aren't something to be wielded to try to help men to make sure that they're going to vote for you or to make sure that they fall in line with your priorities. And this is the problem, is that this is going to be used as a cudgel, as a voting block wedge, like a voting block wedge issue, I guess I should say, to try to help men. It's not going to help men. They're just going to try to subvert them and pull them in and have them fall into the hive like everybody else. What Vosh said is, I cannot stress enough how important it is to understand that 12-year-old white boys on Twitch are not. So first of all, he's got to throw in the race in there because it's Vosh, are not being pulled into fascism because of some Machiavellian desire to preserve and expand their privileges. It's because the right talks to them and the left doesn't. But see, this is the problem with the women that decide to come forward and speak about men's issues. They don't care about men's issues. They don't care about helping men. They don't care that men are failing. They don't care that men are struggling. They don't care that the laws, many of the laws, are targeted against men. What they care about is trying to help men from a perspective that when it's time for men to vote, they will look out and say, who helps me more? The more conservative, strong-minded masculine men or the left. And the left says, well, we got to compete. We've got to get these men to our side because it's the amalgamation of votes from both minorities in the LGHD TV community and this and that. We need to have all these people on our side. So we have to make sure that we poison the well by calling Jordan Peterson and Tucker Carlson and Andrew Tate and whoever else out there as toxic and bad and fascist and everything else. But men, come over and listen to us. We really care about you, and we're empathic to you, and we genuinely want to help you. They don't. They just want to come on, now stop. They just want to use you for power. And Shu gets into this a little bit, and I'm not going to get into all that. But the reason why I really wanted to talk about this so much is from just the simple fact that the left wants to now help men. Women want to help men. Oh, we're so compassionate. We're jumping on the train. I think it's a good idea that they're getting the message out. I think it's good that they're raising the spotlight on men's issues. But always understand it's not really to help men. It's maybe to get some video clicks. It's maybe to get some information out there. And it's to get men to the left, to get men to fall in line with the same model of thinking and the same way of life as they do. I've never heard anything by Jordan Peterson or Tucker Carlson or Andrew Tate or even Pearl or any of us in the men's spaces that have been talking about these things for years. I've never heard anybody really talk about, like, you need to. Now, I have said many times that if voting for the left and voting for the feminists and voting for the people that hate you is probably a dumb idea. I've said that many times, but I've never said, so you need to vote a certain way or you need to view the world this way. That's the difference. Is it's okay to say, hey, if you're doing this, it's probably not in your best interest. What should I do? That's up to you. All I do is put the information out there and make it available to you guys so you can say, hey, you know something? You're right. I don't think they have my best interest at heart. I'm going to look at other alternatives. That's all I've ever said to do for anybody. And yes, I'll give you my opinion on that stuff. But if you were to say, dude, I'm all in on this political party and it's the opposite of yours, and we're going to have a conversation. I'm going to ask you, what do you think is good about them? And I'm going to put up my counterpoints. And at the end of the day, you say, I'd still really like to be friends, but I really think I'm just going to keep going this way. My answer would be like, you do you, man. Like, that's okay. I'm not going to hate on you because of that. Name one instance that any of these women or these feminists or the left or anything else is able to do that. And here is a beautiful example right here. Is Shoe on Head with her headline or her banner here, the 19th Amendment and its consequences. And when I just make a statement of how ironic that they're talking to women about men's issues and what we should be fixing to fix men's issues, and why they're interviewing women about men's issues without a man to give a counterpoint or to have a discussion about it, Shoe on Head basically tells me to shut up. And that's what you've got. So just be mindful of that, guys. And again, I'm not saying that necessarily you need to follow this content creator or you shouldn't listen to this one and you should only do this. I'm going to continue to listen to Shoe on Head. I'll listen to it on YouTube, not Twitter anymore because she blocked me. And I'm still going to get her opinion on things. And ironically, I agree with many of her opinions, but you must ask the question. Now that they're coming around and talking about men's issues, is it to help men or to win men into their cause? That's the question you have to ask yourself. And once you come up with that answer, I think you'll have a better idea of what's going on. Guys, don't forget Saturday night is Saturday night at the movies over on Locals for supporters over there. I did my Windows drivers. I did my window drivers update and my machine wouldn't turn on and I had a bunch of issues and had to go into safety mode and uninstall the drivers and fiddle with it. So last weekend we were going to do The Longest Yard with Burt Reynolds when he had a jaw that could break through a brick wall. And we're going to do Major League with Tom Berenger, Charlie Sheen, and Coben Burnson. good movies, sports. I'm getting excited for football season coming up. It's about the only sport I watch anymore. And since they went woke, I don't watch it on cable news anymore or cable TV anymore. So if you'd like to, join us over there for movie nights this weekend. For those of you guys that have sent in all the requests for the free month membership as a supporter level, you can go over to Locals and sign up with Joker is Wild, like all one word, all caps. Joker is Wild, all caps, or Jokers with no apostrophe, JOKRESWILD, or 1 month free, all caps. All those three work if you want to check it out. For the rest of you that have emailed and asked for the supporters, other supporters that chipped in on that stuff, I'm going through the emails. I got a lot of them, so it's going to take me a while. It might take me a week or so. I'll get through them. I'll get you your memberships out to your emails. Just be patient. And then you guys can maybe join us for Saturday night at the movies. And we'll leave it there, and I'll see you in the next one.